And we have Crystal Beast up against Maliss, which we probably have taken out our Lancias. Thus, are we going to get crushed by Maliss thanks to Ryzeal? Everyone removing the counter cards to Maliss?
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Begin. Start this off with a Maliss in Underground. We do have a Forbidden Droplet, which is an anti-Ryzeal card. Against Maliss, though, how good would this card be? Well, I would say against an Apollo USA and a Fireball Dragon, that could be quite decent for a negate. But they do have the MTP in the back row, and the Cryptor is probably engraved that is getting ready to be summoned, probably after you'd want to be using the Droplet. So I would say it's definitely not as good against Maliss as it is against Ryzeal. We're going to GWC, banish the Binder, reborn the White Rabbit, trigger the White Binder, reborn back as we, holy moly, we have the ability to negate a special summon, negate a monster on the field. We can non-target banish any card in the field. We also have Maxi plus a Nibiru, 4 forms of disruption. Book of Eclipse, well, another anti-Ryzeal, and we have Link monsters that cannot be flipped face down. As I said, the more you want to counter Ryzeal, the better the other deck becomes. We're going to start this off with a Rainbow Bridge, adding a Crystal spell from our deck to our hand. We have Golden Rule. Activate the Crystal Bond, add a Crystal Beast from our deck, Carbuncle, plus setting up the Crystal Beast Rainbow in the back row. Crystal Beast Rainbow is going to attempt to special summon from the deck as the Maxi now hits us hard, drawing per special summon. Come forth, Cobalt Eagle, as we also add a Rainbow Dragon from our deck to our hand. We are now going to Crystal Beast, Pegasus, set up into the back row, the Topaz Tiger. We have Chidori, which is going to target a set card, attempted to return to the bottom of the deck. We have MTP with a non-target banish. Say goodbye to the Chidori. I'm setting up my sound real quick. There we go, adding the March Hare as we banish away the Chidori here. We have Golden Rule, which is going to attempt to special summon and equip onto the Golden Rule. Thus, the Impulse is going to completely shut us out, hopping into game number 2. Maliss too good. Maxi is going to be chained to the Golden Rule, as we do have the Called by the Grave. Chain Called by the Grave, finger the Maxi, not today. What's interesting here is the Ryzeal does not activate the search if you have a non-level 4 rank 4 on the field, which was our level 3. So we flipped our level 3 face down in order to get the effect of Ryzeal to search our deck. And also, we use the Aggregator to chain link block the Ryzeal by negating our own card. Make sure your other card isn't already negated, or you're going to end up negating your own Ryzeal. X is going to give you a Sword Ryzeal, special summon from the hand here, searching for the Ice Ryzeal. We have not committed to the normal summon until now, as the Ice Ryzeal summons from the deck a Star Ryzeal. Star Ryzeal giving us the Ryzeal Cross as we now make the Ryzeal Detonator. Detonator equipping the Aggregator as we further exceed into the Duo Drive. Duo Drive going to be detaching off itself to grab a plug-in plus a Plasma Hole. We now have Ryzeal Cross returning 2 cards engraved back in the deck to draw into a Crystal Miracle, which the Miracle is actually a form of disruption. Yes, it has a spell, trap, or monster effect negates and destroy the card it negates. We also have the ability of the Detonator for 3 pops, 4 pops, 5 pops, and we're also going to Plasma Hole pop up to 2 cards on the field that's face up. We have about 7 forms of disruption. And any of those pops can be swapped out with a cross negate. You could also count the Aggregator as an additional negate. So I'd say up to 8 forms of disruptions, the ceiling. White Rabbit being banished with an Allure of Darkness. We're going to use the Ryzeal Cross to negate the White Rabbit from reborning itself back in the field. We're going to follow up with another Allure of Darkness, banishing the March Hare, add back to the hand here. We played through 7 more forms. No, we don't do anything. We activate Maliss in Underground, the Detonator would just pop it right away. So what is even the point? In fact, we even have Lancia in our main deck to help counter the mirror match. We're now going to Ryzeal plugin, reborn the sword, and we're going to equip possibly onto the Duo Drive or the Detonator. It does not matter what we equip onto, but we will possibly just negate with the Ryzeal Cross. That's exactly what we're doing, negating the Ash Blossom, as we're now going to be detaching off of the Detonator. Now, if we're putting this detonator at 0 materials, we have to understand that the Ryzeal Cross states that you cannot summon another detonator while you control that detonator. So what you could do is Node Ryzeal or Ice Ryzeal, get the detonator with 0 materials into the graveyard to then summon another one. Let's Sword on summon, searching for the X Ryzeal. As we use the Ryzeal Cross, return 2 cards engraved back to the deck, draw 1. Ice going to summon for the deck. Star's going to reset up the plugin after we return it back to the deck. We have Dugars, which is going to activate 2. Boost up the detonator to 6,000 attack. Crystal Miracle is going to negate and destroy the Marchair. Now, are we under the effect of Impulse? Yes, we are. So the Nibiru is completely useless, cannot be activated. Say goodbye to the Marchair. To battle we go. Even though the Nibiru was not activatable, we didn't even perform 5 summons in order to activate it, taking us into game number 3. White Rabbit on summon, setting up a GWC from the deck. White Rabbit link off into a link decoder. Now, sometimes you don't want to chain-link block this if you want them to use Ash on it, because you maybe already have another follow-up or an extension or already another field spell in your hand. Link Decoder reborn from Engrave as we now further go into the Apollo USA. If we want to count the Durstorm as a form of disruption, we have 1 banished from their graveyard, a secondary way to banish from the graveyard through the effect of the White Binder on summon. We can negate a special summon, we can negate a monster on the field, we can non-target banish a card in the field with MTP, we can non-target banish again with the Cryptor, we can negate a monster effect twice with the Apollo, we could return any up to 3 cards from either player's field or graveyard that are monsters back to the hand. 9 disruptions. And if you're a Maliss player and you want me to give you some tips on playing against Ryzeal, what I would say is they're normally going to open up at the X Ryzeal, right? When they summon the X Ryzeal, what you should try to do is use the White Binder to banish from the graveyard whatever they send. If they send an Aggregator and it's no longer in there, they now can't special summon a Node. If they send a Duo Drive and you banish it, they now can't summon a Sword, but they have an X Ryzeal, right? Well, you're going to banish the X Ryzeal at the MTP as the White Binder banishes whatever it sends from the extra deck to the graveyard, and then they have to normal summon their Sword, or their best play would have to be a normal summon in Ice, which is what they're not searching for. Sapphire Pegasus eating up the normal summon, which to me, that's a great deal. I know you're not normal summoning an Ice. Negate the Pegasus as we're now down to 8 forms of disruption. To battle phase we go, GWC, Reborn, activate with the White Binder, banish our Cryptor, Red Ransom, and our White Rabbit from Engrave. Cryptor's going to come back with the ability to banish. Red Ransom's also going to come back, banishing from the deck. White Rabbit is going to be setting up the MTP from the deck. Let's speed this up a little bit. We're at 8 disruptions so far. Well, now down to 7. Red Ransom is going to be searching our deck, setting up the MTP. Come to me. Add back the Dormouse. We're going to attack. Now we're activating the Rainbow Dragon effect to special summon this card from the hand on the attack declaration. We're going to use the Apollo to negate the special summon. Now we cannot declare an attack onto the Apollo because the field spell states we have to attack into the Maliss links. Negate. So now down to 6 forms of disruption, or I should say 5. Put the Pegasus into the back row, special summon the X Ryzeal, send the Aggregator. Aggregator is going to negate the Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon, in response, is going to be targeting 3 cards. Our own Apollo, the X Ryzeal returning back to the hand, and our own engraved Bestial Magnum Hunt. We have already used up our normal summon. We are going to be searching for the Sword Ryzeal, but how could Sword special summon if the Aggregator is not a Duo Drive? You need to have a Ryzeal on the field or engraved to even summon it. Thus, we end our turn. That is quite unfortunate. And as I said, even if we did send a Duo or we had another Ryzeal, you would be ideally banishing it with the White Binder. Well, wham bam, thank you ma'am. Let's hop into another match. Pure Maliss defeating Crystal Beast Ryzeal. Begin. We have the ability to banish a monster, pop multiple cards on the field, steal a monster, and negate it. We can fuse into a Guardian Chimera to pop multiple cards. We can take control of a monster temporarily. We could also pop the Twin Horn with the Bone Party, then pop even more cards on the field. We have about 6 forms of Disrupt. We played through 6 disruptions. We're going to start this off with Ascension, one of the most powerful turn 2 cards that will be triggering the combined creation to Reborn the Twin. As we now summon the Ascension from our backyard, searching our deck for a Golem. Golem activate, putting itself in the backyard to further summon itself onto the field. All of this without committing to our normal summon play. Searching for the Wedge Temple as we link these 2 off into the Moon of the Closed Heaven. With that Moon of the Closed Heaven summon, we're going to use Mace to take control, or at least attempt to, as the Call of the Grave is now going to be fingering the Mace. We're going to chain the Little Knight to banish itself, plus the Moon of the Closed Heaven to deny the Fiendsmith Requiem summon play. So we try to take control, we banish the Little Knight, we have 4 more disruptions. Without the normal summon being taken up, we could still summon our Stellar. We're going to use the Wedge Temple to then send to the grave with our original Sinful summon from the deck, our Snake Eye Ash. Ash on summon is going to get negated and taken control of through the Utopic Draco Future. Come to me. With that, we are now going to be committing to our Stellar normal summon. It does not trigger, does not have a quick effect. It must send a spell or trap card to the graveyard to summon from the deck. And just like that, we have the Creation King wiping it off before it could even attempt to activate, whether it could even activate at all. As we now hop into game number 2. Memento too good. Begin. Start this off with Ascension, which makes our deck a bit weaker to Maxi and or Fool Loss, but if they don't have it, then this straight up just boosts up your deck. We have 3 monster negates to the Apollo, a pop on special summon with the Promethean Princess. We have a Nibiru to tribute off the entire field, and that is about the 5 disruptions we have here. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Come forth. The Star through the effect of the Flame Burst descends to the back row a wanted secret during the opponent's turn. Anguish on summon is going to be activated to search our deck for the Memento Horse. Memento Horse from in hand, activating to summon itself onto the field. We're not going to activate as we just go straight into a Little Knight, which is not activatable on summon. We're now going to Bone Party, pop from our hand a Goblin to summon from the deck a Memento Horse, activating the Horse. So by waiting on the Horse activation, by first having a Little Knight on field, that ensures that when the Apollo activates to negate the Horse, the very important effect that we do not want to be negated, we can chain the Little Knight to banish itself plus the Apollo, then the Apollo does not negate. Send from the deck a Gaddock and our Sleepy. We're going to add the Sleepy from Engrave as the Gaddock reborns itself and adds back to the hand. Sleepy active. Is the Apollo working here? What's going on? We're just holding forever. Okay. Creation King on summon, activate. We're going to chain the Promethean Princess to pop the Creation King on summon. Now, you may be thinking, because you got cheated at your locals, that this can now chain its effect to pop multiple cards in the field. It cannot do that within the same chain of already activating its first effect. So it gets wiped out. And that's why you need to think when summoning Creation King while going second, to maybe not send from the deck or XX to the graveyard if you value the effect to pop cards in the field to be more valuable. We're going to take out the Raging Phoenix, Reborn Promethean Princess, as the Creation King sends from the deck an Action X to the graveyard, 3 cards. We're now going to Creation King banish to search our deck for the field spell. I cannot believe the Apollo has not negated anything yet. We're just really waiting. We're going to use the Memento Fusion to pop the Sleepy to search our deck for a Memento Fusion. The field spell and the Acheron will be triggering. As the Sleepy also triggers, we're going to be reborning 2 monsters as we send a card from the deck to the grave. From the deck to the grave, we get a combined creation Engrave, which we cannot negate its special summon from Engrave since it does not activate. Acheron activating the effect to be able to attack directly, and we're going to use the Apollo to negate. Now, this whole time, the Little Knight was pinning down the Apollo, which means the Apollo is now not negating the Acheron, does get banished away, and we now can in fact attack directly with level 9 or higher Memento monsters. Twin Dragon at level 7 will not be able to attack directly. Twin Poppin itself searching for the Horned Dragon plus a Dark Blade. We're going to be triggering the Twin to reborn the Memento Horse from Engrave as we now make our own 4 material Apollo USA at 4 monster negates. Now, Let's summon from your grave our combined creation. What we could do here is we have a Bone Party and Grave. We want to activate Bone Party. During your main phase, banish this card, make it so the Combined Creation can inflict piercing battle damage. Now, Combined Creation has the effect of only while you control no other monsters can this attack every single monster your opponent controls. Now, there's a Nibiru, but the Apollo can negate Nibiru, but once we get to the battle phase, if we negate Nibiru, then Apollo will be small enough to kill itself. And if it does, then the Combined Creation can attack every single body in the field for what I think is lethal damage, yes? But that's only if we activate Nibiru, otherwise the Apollo's too large. Did not Nibiru. But we're attacking directly for game anyway, 4,000 life points due to the Millennium Engine, and we can attack directly. Damn. It's so sad that we gave up the much cooler way to lethal of piercing battle damage and attacking every single body for instead all the Memento players are just attacking directly through the Acheron effect.